Dobra, kontynuujemy. Rozdział 20, zaczynamy. Już jesteśmy tak bliziutko.
The Pope believes we should either burn him or make him Bishop of Kingsbridge.
I have already taken matters into my own hands. My men arrested him while Kingsbridge was left unguarded.
While his friends took Earl's Castle.
Yes.
At least in his death, William Hamley was of use to you.
Ten biskup widzę też już. Rozdział 20. Zakończenie? Co? Jest 21. Shiring Dzień Sądu.
Look at all these people. It seems like they're enjoying themselves.
They never change. You drooling dogs should be ashamed!
Shut up, you old hag! Ellen?
I'm not feeling well.
I'll take care of you. You two go ahead. Hurry up!
Is your mother ill?
It's not that. This is where they hanged my
No.
father.
Znowu zobaczyła to miejsce i wróciły wspomnienia. O kurde. Filip!
The trial begins. The judges. Brother of Stephen, King of the English. The Right Reverend Bishop Henry of
Aliena
Winchester.
jest.
Her Highness, the Countess Lady Aliena of Shiring. Presiding over the trial, the Right Reverend Bishop of Shiring and Kingsbridge.
Ja Filipa nie. Ja go nie stracę.
Please. The church is not without fault. We have gathered here today before the eyes of God to accuse one of our own.
Nie.
He wrote in his book that the church and the papacy are not necessary as intercessors between God and man. That God is in man. That all men are equal. And that each sinner is as close to our Lord as
Pierdzielenie.
the Pope himself. Now, we ask God for his judgment. For his is the kingdom, the power, and the glory. Not ours, and not yours. You stand accused of heresy. Philip of Gwynedd,
Nie.
how do you plead? Answer!
Jestem niewinny.
I am not guilty.
Your teachings speak another language. Guilty, I say.
I am deeply saddened. It may come as a surprise to you, but we had hoped to make you Bishop of Kingsbridge. Why has it come to this, Philip?
In
Nie,
part,
nie możesz
I
ginąć.
am to blame. I supported Philip in his early years. I demand that Philip be removed from his position of prior immediately.
No!
And that he remain in captivity until such time that Shiring and all of England have healed from the poisonous words he has dispersed.
No!
What? Yes? Do you not agree with the church as well, my lady?
Weźmy to.
You are accusing Philip because he has defied you.
I made him prior, and grateful he was not.
No właśnie, no to się przeciwstawił.
I accuse him because his teachings are false. And
Debil.
I intend to prove that Philip's decisions have been more than misguided in the past. Call in Remigius.
O nie!
The Prior of Shiring, Father Remigius.
Tylko nie ten debil.
My bishop.
Tell the court, Remigius, what you have told me.
For many years, I served as sub-prior of Kingsbridge. First for Prior James, then for the accused.
What was your first impression of him?
I was offended by his bluntness and accusations during the chapter discussions.
What else?
Prior Philip did not hesitate to give refuge to the people fleeing Earl's Castle in the winter that our king died.
Is that not a good deed? A true Christian act?
No właśnie.
You do not know him as well as you think you do, Lady Aliena. Today, that will change.
The future master builder of our cathedral and his woman were among those taking refuge. They were living in sin. They were unmarried and fornicating.
No i?
Philip allowed them to stay.
Why would he do that?
I do not know, my bishop.
Maybe because he himself was involved in similar affairs. We will see.
Then, on the day of our first fleece fair, we were attacked.
I heard. It was terrible.
O Boże, co za kabel
I tried
pieprzony.
to soothe the woman's pain by reading the scripture to her. The builder's woman I have spoken of tried to put a spell on her with poisonous herbs.
Nie były trujące,
And
debil.
Philip intervened.
Yes. He pushed me aside and gave the woman poison.
Nie odepchnąłem cię, debilu. Stałeś daleko, kuźwa, na drugim planie.
It is
Pieprzony kłamco.
worse than I thought.
It was no poison.
And then there was the day the Virgin Mary's statue arrived in Kingsbridge.
O
I
Boże.
did not believe it was a miracle.
Clearly, it is a miracle. I hear of many who were healed in Kingsbridge.
No i co teraz? Remigiusz, pedale?
Well, I soon realized it was a true miracle, but Philip did not.
Ty pieprzony kłamco!
He was only after the money people donated at the Virgin's shrine. That is why I left.
Ja pierdolę, słyszeliście kłamstę? Jednak wierzyłem, że to cud, ale Filip nie. O ty gnoju
I believe
pieprzony.
there is one more thing you have not told us about. Something very important.
Yes. Philip has fathered a child.
Co?
A son. And he raised him in the priory.
Jesteś kurwa głupi. To jest dziecko Tomat, debilu.
Jonathan of Kingsbridge, step forward.
No idź, idź.
This is preposterous.
Is it?
Is this true? Are you Philip's son? Answer the question, Jonathan of Kingsbridge.
Nie.
I have no father.
Everyone has a father.
That may be. But if Philip was my father, he would have told me.
How do you know he did not lie to you?
Speak.
Filip nigdy by nie skłamał.
Philip would never lie. He told me that I was found in the woods.
In the woods. Is this true, Philip? Or are you lying? Well, you've
Porzucono
told
go w
the
lesie.
story so many times.
He was abandoned in the woods. My brother found him.
The brother whose master you betrayed.
What are you talking about?
Philip tried to involve me in a conspiracy against his
I-
brother's master.
Plątać?
Earl Robert
To ty mnie
of Gloucester,
wplątałeś, debilu, ja się wyplątałem.
and his ally, Earl Bartholomew, your father, Lady Aliena. Philip took in all those refugees years ago because he was to blame for their fate. As he was for yours when you lost your father
nie daj mu się.
and your earldom. That, Lady Aliena, is the man you are trying to protect.
Nie daj się biskupowi.
Well,
Wybacz.
I know that he is a troubled man. We've all had to make hard decisions. Decisions that
Ej,
seemed
gdzie są
right
twoje
at
napisy?
the time. When indeed they were terrible mistakes. I am thankful that I was forgiven when I made a mistake. Now I forgive him.
No właśnie, wybaczyła mi.
Let us now return to the problem at hand. There is a man who witnessed how Jonathan was found in the forest. A man who can shed light on who Jonathan's father really is.
Dokładnie.
And who is that?
My husband.
Jack.
Step forward. What is your name?
Jack
He is the
Jackson.
master builder of Kingsbridge.
have you lost your courage?
No, I have not. You know well why it would be hard for me to face you. They call me Jack, after my father. My name is Jack Jackson.
A?
Yes, we have met before.
How old were you when you allegedly saw Jonathan as a child in the woods?
12. But I know what I saw. Philip told the truth.
You were a child. And what were you doing there, in the woods?
I was living in the forest with my mother.
They were outlaws.
Prior Remigius is the most trustworthy witness we've seen today, and his statement was quite damning to Philip. The distant memories of an outlawed child cannot convince me otherwise.
He fathered a child!
Let him go!
He would never do that!
No. Słyszycie
And
ludzi?
yet, Lady Aliena is right.
Ha!
We do not know enough to judge him as harshly as you proposed, Bishop Waleran.
You are right, Bishop Henry. As I said, it is not up to us to judge this man. Philip of Gwynedd has pleaded innocent, but how innocent is he? We ask God for his judgment.
Ja pierdolę.
As Bishop of Kingsbridge and
Dajcie mi jakiś
Shiring,
pistolet.
I demand an ordeal by fire.
No chyba nie.
This is madness!
Philip of Gwynedd will be tried and judged at the stake. If he is innocent, God will save him from the flames. If he is not, then he will burn as the heretic and sinner God has
No chyba se jaja
declared him
robisz.
to be.
No!
Masz przesrane, gościu.
Waleran, by God! Not this time.
It's her.
I saw the child and Francis. I was there. Philip is not the child's father. He is a fool, but he is a good man.
Then, who is the father?
It is me.
They are all in this together.
A, chciałbyś.
Woman is a witch and an outlaw, living in sin with a thief. He was hanged in Shiring 30 years ago.
He was not a thief. He was a good man. You've murdered him, Waleran, by God.
What is this nonsense?
He was a thief. He stole a golden chalice and melted it down and sold it.
What chalice?
The chalice of the Eucharist. He stole it from the Cathedral of Kingsbridge.
Nieprawda.
Sacrilege.
Yes, Friar James of Kingsbridge caught him red-handed.
Pokaż kielich.
Is that the chalice? You said it was melted down and sold.
A?
Fall not for their lies. That could be any chalice. This does not prove a thing.
Where did you find this chalice?
In a secret chamber. We believe Prior James hid it because he felt guilty for falsely accusing Jack's father.
What proof do you have?
He told me. The night the cathedral burned down, I was there, I saw him.
Friar James died weeks before that.
No, he did not.
Bishop Henry, he speaks the truth.
Order!
O, ale się robi.
I will give you until sunset to produce a witness who can prove your accusations against
O,
Bishop
fuck.
Wilson.
To będzie trudniej.
Not just this chalice. If you fail to do this, I will make sure you are tried for defamation.
O, fuck. Trzeba
Philip of
znaleźć.
Gwynedd, you will stay under arrest.
Trzeba
The
znaleźć
trial
dowód.
recommences at sunset.
Oj, 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 oj. Dobra, znajdziemy jakiś dowód. Na pewno gdzieś jest.
We need a witness.
What are you doing there?
I've seen you draw up plans for a cathedral. Maybe we can do something similar to find our witness. Let's see. Your father.
Okej.
He looks just like you.
My grandmother said he did.
And Bishop Waleran. What are the connections? Maybe, by exploring them, we can find a witness.
No właśnie,
Good idea.
coś tu musiało z nimi być.
Jack's father. If he was still with us, he could be our witness.
Maybe he still can.
What?
Bishop Waleran is at the center of all this.
If my father had not come to England, none of this would have happened.
Perhaps.
Or maybe it would have happened to someone else.
Ty go przypominasz!
That's true. Waleran would have hurt others. He's responsible for all this. And we'll prove that.
Ty go przypominasz.
Mother says Waleran was behind my father's death.
And she said he wasn't alone. There were 3 men responsible for your father's death.
Tak jest.
Bishop Waleran, Percy Hamley, back then he was the Sheriff of Shiring, and Prior James of Kingsbridge.
Dokładnie.
If they were all there, then they were all witnesses.
And only Waleran's still alive.
Hardly a coincidence. Why would these 3 men work together to falsely accuse your father?
He was on the White Ship. No one survived that night. No one lived to tell the story.
Yes. He was the sole survivor.
And then they killed him. But why?
My father wanted to go to England. He was the only one who made it when the White Ship sank.
A co
And
jeśli...
what about the ship? Why would Waleran, Percy, and James be concerned about the White Ship?
No właśnie.
The son and heir of King Henry was on board. So were other possible heirs and other members of the royal household.
A, no tak, to o tym
I heard
zapomniałem.
that Stephen was supposed to be on the ship as well, but became ill. He was the only male heir. The only threats were the king's daughter Maud and her half-brother Earl Robert, and they've been at war ever since.
And your father, Earl Bartholomew. He was a threat. He tried to stop Stephen and paid for that with his life. Maybe my father saw something on the White Ship. Proof that Stephen was involved. If Stephen was responsible for the sinking of the White Ship, then he may have wanted the only witness of what really happened to disappear.
No właśnie.
But he wouldn't have done it himself, of course.
No.
What about the king?
No król właśnie wynajął ich.
Do you think Stephen would have approached Percy directly?
Because of the White Ship? To help him cover up his tracks?
Dokładnie.
I don't think so. I think it's more likely that Waleran contacted Percy. Just like he did when he wanted Percy to arrest my father.
Czyli to z tym?
If the White Ship is involved, then it's likely that Waleran was told by King Stephen to murder your father.
But he was not king back then. Why would Waleran listen to him?
He was promised to become bishop.
Dokładnie.
Of course.
Remember, Bishop Henry is Stephen's brother, and back then he was already one of the most influential clerics in all of England.
But if Bishop Henry is in on all this, what chance do we have to turn this trial around?
It is a public trial. All we want is for Philip to go free. We find a witness to expose Waleran. Henry would have to play along to appear innocent.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
It's our best shot.
Fucking hell.
If the king is behind all this, what chance do we have to stop Waleran and save Philip?
We must do our best.
Do you think the king told James to arrest my father?
No. I find it much more likely that James was instructed to frame your father by Waleran, his superior. As Archdeacon, Waleran was much more involved in politics than James would have been.
Okej, czyli co, biskup do Białego Koraba?
Waleran, Percy and James might have been working for those who sunk the White Ship.
No mogli.
I wonder if my father ever learned.
Co by tu jeszcze połączyć z tym?
It is unlikely Prior James ever met the king.
Stephen always claimed that it had been God's will that he was not on that ship. That he remained as the only male heir.
That wasn't God. I bet Stephen had a hand in the sinking of the ship.
Now imagine what would have happened if he had learned that someone survived. Someone who might have seen what really happened that night.
No tak, twój ojciec.
Hardly a coincidence that the king's heirs all died on that ship. Maybe my father knew what happened.
Tak, tylko co ja mam teraz zrobić? Co ja mam połączyć?
Percy Hamley was the sheriff of Shiring. Well, he could have ordered your father to be hanged.
But he was arrested and held in Kingsbridge first. Prior James claimed that my father had committed theft. James was the prior of Kingsbridge.
That's where they say your father stole the chalice, melted it and sold it.
But we know that's not true.
As we found it, Philip recognized the chalice.
But Bishop Henry wants a witness. The chalice isn't enough.
But it's an important lead for us. I think we're getting closer. So Waleran and the others claimed your father had stolen a chalice from Kingsbridge Cathedral, and that he sold it.
Yes.
We know that's not true, but we need a witness.
Tak, ale
It's the only way to help Philip.
zabrał go ten James.
James claimed that your father had stolen the chalice and sold it. But instead, James himself hid it in Kingsbridge, in the crypt.
We found his scourge in a bed down there.
That secret chamber is
Dokładnie
important.
tak.
We're close.
Everyone thought Prior James was dead. that he broke into the ice.
Dokładnie.
And now we know he was hidden away.
Why did his monks believe he was dead?
Sub-Prior Remigius told everyone he had found James Rose.
Czyli Remigiusz jest świadkiem.
So everyone thought the body had been washed away. They buried an empty casket.
But how is Remigius involved?
Philip told me that Remigius was there when Waleran made Philip prior. Waleran and Remigius knew each other.
That explains why Waleran later made Remigius prior of Shiring.
And Remigius recognized my mother when we arrived in Kingsbridge. He must have been there at the time my father was arrested.
Dokładnie tak.
I think Remigius knows all about this.
Is it possible that Waleran told Remigius to make Prior James disappear when James began to talk about what they'd done?
Pewnie tak.
When James started talking to the devil.
But for some reason, Remigius hid him away. But Waleran never knew. Yes, that explains why he really didn't believe you. When you said you had seen James in the fire.
Where James died after all. And Remigius thought no one knew.
We have to find Remigius. He's our witness.
No musimy.
Let's hurry. It's getting dark already. The trial will continue soon.
People know you two. You shouldn't walk around shiring like that.
He's right.
I'll go look for him.
Okej.
All right. Take care of yourself. And Jonathan,
Yes?
we will talk later about what was said today. About Tom.
All right.
Okej.
Remigius. Now where are you?
Remigiusz to na świat. Gdzie on jest? Ja wiem, gdzie on może być. Ale to zaraz.
No one may approach the pyre.
Why not?
Bishop Henry's orders.
All right.
Tłum przed katedrą. Duży dom.
Do you want to go in, Father?
No, not yet. Thank you.
Are you not with Prior Philip?
Yes, I am.
I pray they'll set him free.
He's a good man.
He is a heretic!
Morda!
You're fools! Look at yourselves! Who are you to judge a man who has never hurt anyone?
Forgive them, Father.
We don't judge him, but God will!
Jest! Tu wszedł.
Remigius? I don't think he's here.
Jest!
Wait, was that him? I think I saw him.
Tak, ucieka z tym sługą biskupa. Kościół świętego Grzegorza. Oj, robi się kurde gorąco. O, czekaj. To Alfred.
Have you seen a priest walk through here? Father Remigius?
No, sorry, I haven't.
All right.
Hey,
Yes?
you're Jonathan, right?
Yes, I am. And who are you?
Never mind, but there's something you should know. Tom Builder. He left you behind because your mother died. He had no way to feed you. He thought he had no other choice.
How do you know all this?
He went looking for you an hour later, but you were gone.
No.
When he finally found you in Kingsbridge, he was there for you ever since. But he thought he'd lost the right to be your father.
Just who are you?
Just remember what I said. I pray they won't burn Philip. He's a good man.
Can we go home, Daddy?
To dziewczynka, myślę, że to chłopak.
Let's go home.
Tu jest w kościele gnój.
Hello? The door's open. Is anyone there?
You had one task.
By God!
O, fuck.
Our bishop is very
Co za gnój? Torturuje go.
pleased.
No! What are you doing?
I'm doing what is asked of me.
Co za śmieć.
Stop it!
No! Stay away!
Tak.
This does not concern you! No!
Who told you to do this?
No one!
Dobrze ci tak. O Boże, udało się. Może teraz powiem prawdę za uratowanie mu życia.
Why did he do this to you?
I will tell you. I will tell
No w końcu Remigius.
everyone.
No.
Do you have a witness?
Father Remigius, prior of Shiring.
Nie wiem czemu jej napisów nie pokazuje.
What they told you is true. Bishop Waleran wanted the jongleur Jacques Cherbourg dead. He ordered our prior James to frame him. And so he did.
No.
This is a lie!
Is it?
James lost his mind because of what he did for you. He was about to tell everyone the truth. And then you ordered me to kill him.
Nonsense!
Let him speak.
I couldn't do it. I hit him, but he died in the fire. Jack saw him. It was him.
No.
I found the bones after the fire, and I buried them.
You should put an end to this, Henry. You really should.
Why would I?
You should stop this for your own sake. You
O,
knew
już się
about all
wkurza.
this.
Why would I care if that jongleur lived or died?
Your brother cared. The jongleur survived the sinking of the White Ship. He saw how your brother's men killed the king's family so that he could take the throne.
This is preposterous.
Bishop Henry and King Stephen ordered us to kill the man.
Teraz nie
You
wiem.
want the truth? That's the truth. Right there.
It is not.
No.
Waleran is a liar.
Regan Hamley.
Who is she?
No ale się dzieje.
I have waited long enough for this day. It is time I raise my voice. The woman, Ellen, she spoke the truth.
Ha!
3 men were responsible for the death of the jongleur. James, the prior of Kingsbridge. The sheriff, my husband, Percy Hamley. But it was Waleran who was behind it.
No on pociąga za sznurki.
Only Waleran.
No!
Tak!
Heard rumors about the White Ship, about our king. He had hoped to win the king's favor by hanging an innocent man.
But it was not just me. They all knew.
Take him away.
Zabić go, powiesić.
This is for taking my husband's life.
It was Wailerin!
Co się dzieje? Nic nie
We
widzę.
did it. It's over.
Yes, it's over.
Thank you, Lady Hamley.
This monk must learn his lesson.
The Pope would agree. This trial is not over. Philip pleaded not guilty, but he challenged the teachings and the authority of the Church.
Oj, oj, oj.
The ordeal of fire will
No
take
nie!
place
No nie!
to show that the Church is not above God, to show that my brother, the King of the English, is not above God. Not we, but God shall judge this man.
Boże, nie!
This is madness!
No, they can't do this.
Philip! No! You cannot do this!
This is now a matter of the Church, Lady Aliena.
Fuck!
My brother, the king, and
O
I
nie!
accepted the traitor Wailerin into our midst. We were fools and sinners, even if we did not know. I pray that our Lord will save Philip from these flames, for his salvation shall be a salvation for all of us sinners.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven.
Nie!
Light the pyre!
My God, there must be something we can do.
Stop this madness!
Nie! Podjęte decyzje. Biskupowi Walerowi wymierzono sprawiedliwość. Filip nie przyznał się do herezji. Udało ci się oczyścić dobre imię ojca Jacka. Aliena wybaczyła Filipowi doprowadzenie do upadku rodziny. Jonathan wreszcie poznał prawdę o swoich rodzicach. Filip został skazany na spalenie na stosie. Fuck! Widzimy się już w ostatnim odcinku. Trzymajcie się, cześć.